I know for Daniel, Emma and Rupert on that last day, I think the official last day was 22nd of June this year, that they had a good week, but I don't know whether you guys were too tough for such things, whether you allowed yourself a moment of sobbing.
I was definitely too manly for that, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Really though? Maybe you just went somewhere nobody could see
I just went somewhere on my own, had a little quiet moment.
I heard you sobbing in your dressing room when I did.
That was over with something else entirely. But I don't know, for you, Ivana, was in that sense, because this is such a fairy tale.
Yeah, I did cry. I kind of was like, oh, this is silly, everyone talking about the end, and it's going to be a big anticlimax, and no one's going to feel it. And I thought that, you know, that it will only be, but then it was, when I was leaving, I went to say goodbye to the producers, and, you know, I'd written them cards and stuff just to say thanks, and it was like, oh my God, and because they were nice, and they were people who made me feel very at home, and like I met them the first day I went in, and it just all came out then, and I don't know, I don't, like, yeah, sort of like leaving the nest that Harry Potter was something so secure and always there, and yeah, and I'm glad I did cry then, and kind of shared it with people who understood, because otherwise you'd feel really lonely a few months down the line, unemployed, not doing anything, and you're like, oh, I want Harry Potter back, you know.
You sure don't want to cry now, maybe you get out of your system.
A little bit after that.
Yeah. I was thinking too that when it comes to you know, this sort of operation where you've been together for such a long time, it feels like a surrogate family, especially during these years of you know, your developing years and all that. But then on the other hand, it must feel like school's out. Like, it must feel like you've been at this college for how many years, for 10 years, for 6, 7 years. I don't know whether that sort of, you know, there is a part of it, sort of a relief that all that work and all that, you know, concentration, I can now just not think about it.
That's definitely, you know, I felt the exact same way when I left school as when I left Harry Potter. It was like, yeah, it was sad because you weren't going to see everyone every day. But you knew that you'd still see them around, you know. It's not like we're all going to different ends of the earth. We all still live, you know, relatively close, you know, and we'll see each other. And also, yeah, just like you said, all this work that we've put in for the last 10 years, you know, it's we've made it out the other side. We've made 8 films that I'm, you know, proud of, and yeah, it's just quite. I don't want to say relief because that sounds like I've not enjoyed it. I just want to. I just feel very proud about the whole experience and very honoured to have been a part of it.
That would have been a good time to cry, by the way.
Yeah, just end.
Yeah.
We got the Oscar for that one.
But there is that, you mentioned about staying in touch, and I know for Lord of the Rings, because they'd had only a third of the time that you guys have had it, but that they got tattoos, the Elvish
We were
Nine.
going to.
I read about an interview, but I never heard about it.
Our tattoo thing. We were all going to get either a Horcrux or the Deathly Hallows, and then all the girls start chickening out. They're like, "Oh, I'll get a white one on my foot." So we're like, "That's no use. You know, I have to get one that
nobody told me that.
there." Would you
So
get one?
you're basically a pack of wimps. It sounds like you're all...
Probably.
No, of the film. We want one, yeah, like that everyone has. And we had it for longer than them, so we should, but...
I don't know if there is a possibility of an abiding memory, because this will become such a big part of your life for the rest of your life, and hopefully you'll want to do other amazing things and have a wonderful time with those, but there will always be this part of your life that a lot of people will remember. And I don't know if there's a sort of notion of this is when I think of this time of my life, this is the memory I'll have, or you know, if there's certain parts of it that really stick in the head in regard to its impact on you.
It's sort of tough thinking, you know, I've done it for 10 years, it's sort of tough thinking of one, but the one that immediately sprung to mind was just the first week that I was at work, you know, because it was 11 years old, I was tiny, and it was up in Northumberland at Alnwick Castle, and it was the broomstick lesson, and it was quite big for Neville because Neville took off on the broomstick and crashed into the walls and stuff. And at 11 years old, I was absolutely terrified, you know, having no idea what to expect. But the crew were brilliant. The director, Chris Columbus, was, you know, really great at putting me at ease, and I had a really fun week, you know, just being 11 years old, dressing up in a costume and flying around on a broomstick. It was wicked, you know. I
was thinking for you, Ivana, there have been so many kind of fairy tale moments, you'd almost make Cinderella jealous, just the way writing to JK and then getting a response and then getting the auditions, and so I'm sure it must be just one long, big, abiding memory. That just so much of it.
It's ridiculous. Like, after that, I'm like, oh, you know, I've done the biggest thing I wanted. What do I do now? I feel a bit adrift, but it's been great in that sense. The first few months, and the first film, like, perhaps it was all like, ooh, look at all this, and it was me as a fan looking in and being so excited. But then after that, it kind of switched to being feeling I belonged there, and really enjoying it and enjoying the people and the friends there. So yeah, I got the most out of it.
I wonder, has Termon Feckin quietened down now? Because I know it's only a population of 2,345 at the last count. And
wow, you counted.
I know, it took me
That
a
seems a
while because I
lot.
thought I counted one person twice, but I reckon they just changed their hats or something. But that notion of you know, somebody from that little town is suddenly in the biggest movie franchise in the world. I would imagine initially there was parades and all sorts of madness, but I don't know if it's settled down to being its normal everyday life for you now, or whether it still feels the odd person will register.
Well, I think we got a new sign a while ago, and I felt great.
It's got to their heads.
Yeah,
It's got to their heads.
We're Termon Feckin. No, it's very.
Arthur Matthews is from there, the guy who co-wrote Father Ted. He's
he?
also from that little small
Father
town.
Ted.
So you've got two famous people in the world.
We were just talking about
Father
that
Ted.
earlier.
Right.
He was big. We laugh
Well,
in
yeah.
interviews with quotes, but no, it's always going to be small. And who wants to live in a place with a curse in the name? You know, who's going to live there?
Oh yeah, that's cool. I got to wrap up very, very quickly. Daniel joked the fact that he said maybe in 30 years' time, who knows, we'll all come back as teachers in some sort of remake. I'm guessing you guys will be up for that in 30 years' time.
Yeah,
you could be the
probably.
professors.
I've got no money left.
I'm just signing contracts today. I'm going to shoot myself in my garden. So once you're on board, I think you'll get the money.
Cool, man.
Till then, we'll live off signed photos. Yeah.
Right. Rock and roll.
Thanks
Nice to
very
talk
much,
to you
Mike.
guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks so much.
Have you got